Sri Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Gratitude makes the heart fertile so that the seed of prem, the bhakti lata, can grow. Within this Kali Yuga, in the world we live, practicing true bhakti, it will inevitably be challenged at practically every step of our life. Savai pong samparo dharmo yato bhaktiradhokshaje ahoitiki aprati hataya yatma suprasidati. The Srimad Bhagavatam describes that the essence and the supreme dharma is loving devotional service to the transcendent supreme absolute truth, Sri Krishna. True devotion must be without any elements, selfish motivation, arrogance, and true devotion cannot be impeded by any circumstances. Bhava Grahi Janardana. Because Krishna, he sees the very essence of our love. According to our conditioned desires and experiences in this world, there is so much selfishness, so much of an obsession to prove to ourselves and to prove to others that we are better than them. And in the material world, one who could really do that good is considered strong, heroic, and successful. But from a spiritual perspective, in whatever name you call it, it is all due to spiritual weaknesses. It is actually pathetic in light of the soul. And the whole world around us, in so many ways, is trying to influence us, that we will be happy, we will be protected. We will be protected if we are successful in our mission of being selfish and egoistic. We want to be the enjoyer, and one who really enjoys is considered successful in life. But in order to actually connect with the soul, we have to give up these tendencies. Seva means to serve without selfishness, unmotivated and uninterrupted. It is this seva, devotional service, that is our true nature. And even in spiritual life, these same tendencies can so much mislead us. Even in the name of devotion, our egos can triumph if we are not very careful. Rupa Goswami tells us how important it is to associate with devotees, and especially in holy places. Tatra tishtami narada yatra gayanti madbhakta. Actually, wherever the devotees are gathered together with sincere hearts to hear about, to glorify, and to serve the Supreme Lord, that is a holy place. Krishna is there. But the Supreme Lord has established these holy places for us to come together, to leave aside all the petty things that we think are so important in this world and dive deeply into the true purpose of our lives. On Karthik Purnima, 500 years ago, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally came to Vrindavan. This will be very much the theme of our yatra, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's visit. He arrived 500 years ago, and 50 years ago from this year, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupad departed from Vrindavan. For the same purpose that Lord Chaitanya came here, Srila Prabhupada physically departed. In 1922, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, upon his first meeting with Srila Prabhupada, he gave him this order, that you should take the message of Lord Chaitanya and spread it throughout the world in the English language. Many years later, Srila Prabhupada came here to Vrindavan to prepare himself for this impossible mission. And 50 years ago in 1965, he left his rooms at Seva Kunj, where Sri Sri Radha Govinda Dev performed their eternal Rasa Leela, to go to Mumbai and then to Calcutta. In Sri Mayapur Dham, he took the blessings at his Guru Maharaj's Samadhi, and then he boarded the cargo ship Jaladuta. He crossed over several oceans and seas and continents, and 38 days later arrived in America. On November 8th, 1965, Srila Prabhupada was living in New York City. He was a guest of Dr. Mishra, who was a yoga teacher. Dr. Mishra gave Srila Prabhupada accommodations in his own room. And after some time, Srila Prabhupada was staying on the 5th floor in a little flat in Manhattan that had no windows, didn't have a private bathroom. That's where Srila Prabhupada lived. And today, 50 years ago, he wrote a letter to one of his godbrothers. If we read Srila Prabhupada's biography, he just had heart attacks. He was just living in a little town called Butler, Pennsylvania. He had recently come to New York. He was really living in poverty. But yet, in his letter, he wrote what incredibly good scope there was for spreading Lord Chaitanya's teachings in America. Srila Prabhupada would see even the smallest positive opportunity as something so great. He wrote that our Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, he wanted us to spread this mission throughout the world. And in his life, he did send people to the West, but they did not have much results. But I'm in New York, and I see there's great potential. And I see other people coming from India who hardly have any philosophy, and they have beautiful buildings, and they're getting followers. If only we had a building, we would be established in America. So let us work together. If you can send some people and send some funds to actually get a building. I found a really good one, and it's not much money. Then I could be the representative of Gaudiya Mata and manage it for you. Have confidence in me. This is a wonderful opportunity. That letter was sent on November 8th. On November 9th, at 6:00 p.m., Srila Prabhupada was sitting in his little room, and all the lights went out. In fact, all the lights went out in that whole area of America. There was a blackout. 800,000 people were trapped underground in subways because they were depending on electricity. 30 million people were affected. It was huge news. Even me, I was just a teenage boy living in the Midwest, and I heard all about it. It shook the country. Just about 13 hours of no electricity, and the whole nation was shaken. Billions of dollars lost. Such fear. So many robberies and violence. In India, the lights go out and it's just like any other day. Anyways, after the lights were out for about 2 hours, at 8 o'clock, Dr. Mishra sent with one of his assistants a candle and some fruit. So they knocked on Srila Prabhupada's door. And the person who delivered the candle and fruits, he was later interviewed. He said Swamiji was sitting so completely peacefully, while the rest of the city was traumatized in fear and anxiety. He was just sitting peacefully, smiling and chanting Krishna's names. And Srila Prabhupada said, "Thank you." And he asked, "What's happening?" And the person told him, and Prabhupada just smiled and continued to chant. Not too long after that, Srila Prabhupada got the response to his letter. His godbrother told him encouraging words in the sense that he was very pleased to hear about the scope of preaching in America and Srila Prabhupada's enthusiasm to do so. But he also told him that our Math does not have the funds to send anything or anyone. Actually, in Srila Prabhupada's letter, he said, "I only have 9 more days until my visa ends. And if you send me a positive response, I will stay on to serve. Otherwise, I will probably return to India." It was Krishna's arrangement. Not long after this, from that same little windowless flat that Srila Prabhupada was living, his typewriter, his manuscripts, and all his belongings were stolen. Srila Prabhupada had a return ticket to Vrindavan, to Radha Damodar, but he stayed on. He stayed on motivated by compassion, because Vrindavan was within his heart, and he wanted to share that with the world. And then in 1971, Srila Prabhupada brought the first group of foreign people to Vrindavan in the history of the world. The Brijabasis could not believe the size of the group of foreigners that were coming. I happened to be here at that time. Srila Prabhupada brought a bus of 40 people, and the town came to welcome him. And then the next year, at Rupa Goswami's Samadhi, Srila Prabhupada gave 1 month of lectures on the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, nectar of devotion, to devotees that had come from all over the world. Srila Prabhupada wanted to bring Vrindavan to the world, and he wanted to bring the world to Vrindavan. And for most all of us, it was that compassion and the sacrifice that was our qualification for being here today. We begin our Vrindavan Karthik Yatra by offering our Dandavat pranams and our sincerest gratitude to Srila Prabhupada, to all of our previous acharyas, and to all the assembled Vaishnavas.
You were listening to Radhanath Swami on devotionalnectar.com.